and welcome to another video. So I'm filming this way early. It is November the 22nd and I probably won't put this up until January, but I'm doing a lot of pre-filming right now because Thanksgiving break is coming up and I know that I want to do a lot of editing. So here we go. Here we are with my 2021 planner lineup, and I feel like this is the tightest, most I don't know, it's just one of my best lineups, I think, so far. I feel way more confident that I'll be in these notebooks for most, if not all of the year, than I have probably any of my previous planner lineup videos. We'll see what happens come my check-in video in like June or July, but for now, this is what we're working with. It's 5 notebooks-ish total, and I'm just going to take us through one by one what they are all for. This first one is a Skinny Classic Happy Planner. It has a full setup video for it that will probably go up after this video, so I won't go too much into detail, but this is my social media planner. So I have here some notes just kind of condensing what my planner lineup is. Then each month is set up like this with my filming tracker here, some schedules for videos, and then weeks to kind of map out Instagram posts and YouTube things. Each month has a notes page, which is going to be super useful. And then I will quickly flip through the dividers. If you do any happy planner stuff or even planner stuff, really, you've probably seen a lot of flip throughs of this. I just love it so much. So I'm going to do the flip through, and it's just, I love these dividers. They're so pretty. So like I said, social media planner for planning YouTube videos and Instagram posts. One of the things I really want to do in the coming months is step up my Instagram game. I almost never post, and then when I post, I get a lot of yellow light in them, so they're always tinged kind of weird. And something I want to work on is taking better photos, because my YouTube account is connected to my Instagram account, and though I am more invested in maintaining my YouTube channel, I think that my Instagram account is kind of this like untapped place where I can get a bit more YouTube traffic from if my Instagram account were more well kept. So that's one of the things I'm working on in 2021, and this is the planner I will be working on that with. Next up, we have just a plain notebook. This is for long form journaling, and I got this from Walmart, and this is my favorite size notebook. I don't even know exactly how big it is. It's about 9x7, just because it's about as big as a happy planner. This is my favorite size for journaling. I have tried in the past 5 years journaling long form in a variety of different sizes. The last time I journaled super regularly was about almost 4 years ago, and it was in a notebook this size, and so I don't find them often, but I did find this at Walmart once and just really liked it. The paper is thick. You can like hear how thick it is. It has a place at the top for you to mark your dates, and I was just going to use this for writing in 2021, but like journaling that's longer than the daily check-in type of journaling that I do this year and that I will probably keep up with next year. And I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So this is the second notebook. For my mostly personal, but also kind of a catch-all planner, I have this Vertical Classic Happy Planner from the Plan a Happy Life launch, Stephanie Fleming's book, and all the accessories that went along with it. This is the planner that made me go to the Happy Planner. I was not a big Happy Planner fan for like a really long time, and then I saw this planner and it was perfect. I love this cover. It says, define your passion, nurture your creativity, and take hold of your dreams. # live a happy life. It is so pretty. I love the cover. And again, something that you've probably got flip throughs of, but I am going to flip through the dividers and the layout so you see what I'm working with. And then I have added a couple of sections because all of my planners are set up at this point. because it was easier for me to work on setting them up slowly. I probably have been slowly setting them up over 2 or 3 weekends, and now they're mostly where I want them to sit on a shelf until 2021 starts. So look at these polka dots. This is, like I said, my personal catch-all planner. This is the one you'll see weekly Plan With Me videos in, and I just love it. I'm going to use this section for future logging and just mapping out important dates that are coming up, birthdays, holidays. Here you've got your currently page and then the first divider. I'm not 100% sure how I want to use this, but I'm working on it. I'm thinking either pictures for memory keeping. I think, oh, I forget. There's a YouTuber I follow who does a memory keeping spread here. I might do that. I'm thinking of using this as like a gratitude list, but I'm not positive. So that'll work out more as we continue. I'll probably try a few different things in the first couple of months. What called to me about this planner is how neutral it is. So I like how colorful the cover and the dividers are, but then when you get to the actual layout, there's not a ton going on. So this is the monthly. And then this is what the weeklies look like. I am very excited to not have to date my planner anymore. It feels like a small thing, but it just kind of gets tiresome. And so all of the weeks are just like this. And then here we are the next month. So I'm going to keep flipping through. They are so pretty. Look at them. I love the black with the little pops of rainbow. That color combination is so good. April, May, June, July, August. And this is meant to like accompany her book. So purpose, planning, positivity, persistence. I'm pretty sure those are like chapters or something. Sometime maybe I'll try to pick it up, but it's just pretty, even without the context of the book. And December. So this is a 12-month layout. And then at the very end, I have some budgeting stuff set up. So I have taken apart a budget planner extension pack. They are technically set up for 6 months, but there are way more pages each month than I ever need. My budgeting is fairly simple, right? I only manage my bills, which are like, I don't know, I have like 8 a month, and then just expense tracking and making sure that I've paid all my bills before I use whatever money I have left to like save, buy groceries, and then whatever random things I come across. And it's pretty simple. So I turned a 6-month layout into like a year, basically. So these pages need to get glued together because I'm only interested in this savings goal just to see how much I can save in the year 2021. And then I have labeled them. So the budget planner has little stickers to label the tabs, but I just kind of put them there to mark like, okay, this is for this month, etc. And this last section, the budgeting, and the next section I have actually adds quite a bit of chunk to my planner. So it's possible that every few months I might just get rid of these. Like, I don't need to know everything I bought in January. It's really only in January that I need to be mindful of that. So these aren't like, I'm not invested in these pages. They will more than likely get thrown out eventually. But here I have a bill pay checklist, some notes, and an expense tracker. One side of this is almost always enough. There's maybe like 2 or 3 things that get carried on to the other side. So as we flip through this, you'll see that I don't need a lot of expense tracking pages. I think they come with like 3 sheets of these expense tracker charts, and that's too many for me. It's just me and my boyfriend, and we don't buy a ton of stuff. So bill tracker, expense tracker for January, then February, bill tracker, expense tracker, March. And they're not always on the same orientation because, like I said, I took apart a budget extension pack, and so some of these pages are like meant to be oriented a certain way so that you get many of them per month, and I split them apart. So that's how it worked. March, bill tracker, expense tracker, and then I have quarterly budget reviews because these are monthly in the original extension pack, but I don't need to review my budget monthly because not much happens month to month. Like, I'm in a pretty good routine. I basically get paid, pay all of my bills, really set aside savings, and then anything left I can spend. That's just kind of how I budget. It keeps it very simple, and it's been working for me so far. So budget review, and then these will get taped together, and then we're into April. So April, expense tracking, May, June, then Q2 budget review. This will get taped together, July, August, September, Q3, July through August, budget review. It should be June through August. I made a mistake there. That's fine. And then, did I skip September, October, November? Oh, I put September in the wrong spot. Here we are, September. October, November, December, and then that's the end. That's like all the budgeting I need for the year. Then at the end, this tab came from the Bookish Happy Notes notebook. So I have that. I turned it into my current planner over the course of a few months and various edits, but I had some extra dividers from that, and so I used this one to mark off notes pages. So at the very end, I just have, also from the Bookish Happy Notes, some dot lined notes pages at the back for anything that comes up. I just like having a bit of extra paper nearby. And then the back cover. As you can see, it's pretty full on the discs. There's not really a ton of extra space, so I'm going to really try hard to avoid going to expander discs because I won't want to carry that around. And that's why things like the budget pages will probably get thrown out as I use them. And that would probably help a lot, really, is the budget pages. So once those are used, they'll get tossed out, and then hopefully I don't need to move off of these discs. So this is my personal planner / everyday catch-all kind of situation. My next planner in this book is coming back. So I had the Bookish Happy Planner, which was a horizontal 18-month classic happy planner, and I have been using 6 months of it for this last half of 2020, and in 2021 I have the full year here on these discs, and I did add some things to it, so I am going to flip through it. The first thing to note is that this opener and this page here, they are actually in my current planner. So I have this here, and then for July, the dashboard, not July, January. The January dashboard is on the back of my last week in December. And rather than just leave those in here or have to take them out, I actually just photocopied them. My current printer that I got in March, I think, has a photocopy section, like a scanner, and it also does color. So I copied it in color on 2 sheets of paper, trimmed it, and glued them together, and it looks really good. I mean, it doesn't look perfect. You can tell that it's been scanned in, but still, the idea is there. It's a nice opener, and everything stays together. So that was really fun. I'm glad that that worked out. Then here is my reading planner setup. And for the most part, it's a lot of what I have been doing. If you've seen any of my previous reading planner videos, I use these monthlies to track reading. So I have started reading, finished reading stickers, and then I kind of connect them with washi tape just to get a cool visual representation of what my reading looks like for a given month. Over in the sidebar, I leave this space to kind of journal a little about what I read that month, what reading went like, if I read a lot, if I didn't read a lot, etc. These weeklies I am currently using for like journal check-ins and reading, just a combination. It depends on how much I'm reading. When I read a lot, every day I come in and I kind of journal a little bit about what I've been reading, how it went, where I am in a certain book, what my thoughts are, etc. When I'm not reading a lot, I come in here and I journal a little bit about how I'm feeling that morning and what my outlook on the day is like. And then in the check-in section, I'm keeping notes on, for each week, what I'm currently reading, currently watching, and then highlights for that week. And that has been working really well. So this hardbound journal that I showed you earlier is for if I want to do more journaling than this little section. And I'll probably try to do something a little longer, about once a week or so. And then as necessary, however I'm feeling, I'll do more. This is the February tab, and then the dashboard type of currently page thing is where I put my TBR for the month, books that I acquire, so any new books that I get go here, and then this section down here, this is birthday book, I actually use to track new releases. So I have a couple of those in here already. For example, February the 16th, A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. Very excited for it. I am still trying to finish the original trilogy. I've read the first 2 books. I need to read the last book and the novella. I'm working my way through it. This is the February tab. March, also some good releases coming out. Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare, and then Bonecryer's Dawn, which I read the first book because it was a Fairyloot edition, and I forget the name of the author, Catherine Purdy, I think. But since I started it, I figured I might as well continue the series. And then those are the only 2 books I've put in so far. But as I learn of books that I want to look forward to, I'll just jot them down in their corresponding month. So we've got March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. I really like this grid. Like, it's super simple, but also very pretty. November and December. So this is my reading planner for the rest of 2021. And it just kind of finishes out the 18 months. And then from there, all of my planners should be on an academic year. Not an academic year, on a calendar year. And that is my goal. That's my goal, is to have all of my planners run on a calendar year. So this is kind of a transitionary planner for that goal. And then at the end of the regular planning pages, you have some reading journal printables that I found. I will try to link the Etsy shop I bought these from. This was the most complicated printing experience I've ever had. Basically, most printables are set up so that you can just have one file and then you print all the odd pages, flip them, print all the evens, or just double-sided print if your printer does that. This shop split all the right-hand pages and all the left-handed pages, and you cannot double print the right-handed pages because then the holes end up in the wrong spot. It took me forever to figure out, okay, which pages do I want to print on one side, and then when do I need to flip it and go to the other file and print for the other side, and then how many copies of each page do I want, and how do I, which way does my printer even print? I had to figure that out as well. How should I feed the paper in? I spent forever on it and I still messed up, but I was done. So this is what I ended up with. First, I've got a bookshelf just to color in books as I finish reading them, and it's going to be a pretty good, just like graphical, fun way to see all the books that I've read for 2021. And here we get mixed up. This is not the page I meant to be here, but it's the page that's here. So a place for favorite quotes, book title, and then some space. I hope to, for my favorite books, kind of letter in a quote or two in these sections. A book review page here, so title, genre, author, and rating. A fun, simple way to kind of keep track of that. Another favorite quotes page. These were all meant to be together, but the printing came out kind of weird, so it is what it is. This year reading list, I want to use this to put my favorite book of the month, probably just like the cover for each month next year. So I'm excited to see how this looks at the end. More favorite quotes to kind of wrap up that section. And these are together, so like if I start to run out of pages, I can kind of stick more in here and it will still feel like a single section. My last book review page, there are 27 slots on here, and I think I printed two or three sheets because my goal for 2021, and I'll update a full reading kind of goals for 2021 video some other time, but my current plans are to aim for about 50 books in 2021. I'm on course to do 49 this year, so that's fun. Yeah, the third book review page. Then we've got these book summary pages. I kind of like them. Like, similar pages were in my peanut butter taco planner, and I didn't always go back to reference them like I should, or to even fill them out really, but I miss them now that I've been using my other reading planner for a while. And so this printable had them. This printable had a very similar setup, so I printed them out. Enough for 60 books, I think. So there are a lot of these with the title, the author, the start date, finish date, genre, rating, and then notes, which is where I will just jot down my overall feelings about the book, like a mini review. So I have a lot of these pages. I think I printed 20, which is just 10 front and back. Then a place for a book wish list, so you can put the title, the author, how much the book costs, and then when you've bought the book and when you've read the book, which is nice. And then at the end I put a reading log, because since I don't always put a lot of detail about my reading in here depending on how I'm feeling, I wanted a place for when I am sitting down to read, I can also track my pages read. So this is a place for the date, the title, the start page, and the end page. And I thought that was really cool. I have been meaning to work into my weeklies a pages read, but I don't want to sit here and write pages read for every single day. I've thought about stamping. I don't want to buy a whole set of stamps when I really just want the one stamp. I thought about stickers, but I don't want like bulk to be in the same places where I put the same sticker. So these reading log pages are a really good alternative because I can put the start page, the end page, and then I can keep track of like pages read per month, because I get really caught up on number of books, but to be honest, some of the books that I read are pretty long, and so if it takes me a whole month to read one of the Wheel of Time books and it's all I read that month, I get so like, I only read one book this month. But on the other hand, I read like 1,000 pages. You know what I'm saying? So I also want to be able to keep track of the pages I read, because some of the books are just really long and I want to still feel that sense of accomplishment. You know what I mean? So reading log pages, and I think there are about 27 lines here as well. So I printed enough for like one of these a month, which is assuming I read almost every day, but often not quite, plus one more. So I printed off 13 of these. And that's like my extra reading section to kind of supplement some of my other weekly and monthly things. Then at the very end, I have this tab also from the Bookish Happy Notes. So this is one of my extra tabs. and some lined notes pages so that I can make special pages for readathons and things like that. And this is my reading planner. This is a pretty chunky one, but this is not one I do a lot of crazy decoration in. So I might put a few stickers here and there, but not like, I don't add like thick elements like cardstock and things like that like I do in my regular weekly planner. So hopefully this will be able to stay on the discs. We'll see. If not, the notes pages are the first things that will be sacrificed. So that's my reading planner. And then my last planner is just, it's my work planner. Basically, I started the year off in a plum paper. I did not end up liking it for a few reasons. The biggest one that made it not work is that I went down a size because I was annoyed at carrying it around, but I shouldn't have. I put myself in a 7x9 and I should have stayed 8.5x11. It was too small. It did not work. I also didn't want to buy a whole new plum paper. It also, this year is different because I do have my own classroom, so I'm not moving as much as I was last year. Last year, I moved around a lot. I had to take my planner with me everywhere, and it was annoying. So this year, that's not a problem, and I kind of transitioned into this binder system that I love. I love this binder system. So I will try to show you the bits and pieces that I can. First, I have here a plum paper notepad sheet. I used a full notepad at work, but I just brought a sheet out so you can see what it looks like. I use this almost every single day. It is so good. It is their teacher folio notepad. I love it. I love it so much. It has a place for priorities, a to-do list, to grade, to copy and print, to mark the date. I love it. It's perfect because it lets me keep my work at work. Like, I don't put my work to-dos in my personal planner anymore unless they're really, really big. Like if I have a deadline or I've been putting something off but I really need to do it on this day, then like the most urgent tasks I mark in my personal planner as well. But day-to-day things, like the list of things I need to grade, for the most part don't make it into my personal planner, and that has helped me separate my work and my home life so much more than I've ever been able to separate it. That and the fact that I'm not living on campus anymore, because last year I worked at a boarding school, it just like never felt like I was off. You know what I mean? Every time I walked out of my apartment, I had to worry about students because students would see me. So like, what was my hair put together? What was I wearing? You know, like I couldn't just walk outside in pajama pants like I do here to do laundry. This apartment complex is the one in a big city, and the odds that I'm going to run into a student are so small that when I go to do laundry and head to the laundry room, I'm in my pajama pants and I think nothing of it. So it's just really nice to be home, and then when I'm at work, to be at work. So this is what I use for my daily to-dos at work. Inside, this is like a mishmash of things. I keep lots of random things here. It needs to be organized. Keep lots of notes here. The biggest thing is that I actually have a printable. So I got this lesson planning printable off of Teachers Pay Teachers, and it is so good. Like if you wanted to, you could punch these pages for a large happy planner, and it could be a disc bound planner, which I almost did. That's why this is trimmed. I kind of finagled my classic happy planner punch to punch 11 holes, and it mostly worked, but I didn't like it. I didn't like the way the pages turned. I didn't have a proper cover for it because the holes actually weren't quite perfect, and because all the pages I punched were the same, I was able to get them to all fit together all right. But when you align it with a happy planner cover, it did not fit because some of the top holes were actually a little off. So I didn't have a proper cover. I didn't have a punch strong enough for me to make a cover. I just didn't like it. And so I put them on this binder, and it's so good. I don't think I'm going to try to bind my lesson planner a different way next year. I'm really liking the 3-binder system. I like this binder in particular. It's sturdy. I love the color. I will probably use this exact binder next year and just swap out the inserts. It's so good. There's a lot I can't show you, but basically this printable has a lot of different layouts. So that's another thing that I liked, because as you can see here, I've got the different like semesters that my school has, and per semester, depending on what I'm teaching and what the timeline is like, I don't need the same setup, right? And in most teacher planners, you have the same layout every single week, no matter what. And I don't always need that. You also have weeks where you're not even in school, and those are entire spreads that you don't use. Whereas this printable is undated, so you can print only the weeks that are in your semester. I love it. I'm gonna try to show you what I can. So I don't actually even use these monthlies. I printed them because I thought I might, but I don't. And next year, I don't think I'm going to print a monthly, because my school does a lot of Google Calendar, and the monthly on the Google Calendar is what I reference when planning. So I'm not even going to deal with these pages next year. I'm going to jump straight into my lesson planning pages. And I want to show you at the end, yeah, what one of these pages looks like. So this is for my current semester, and I am teaching geometry, and then I'm only observing physics. So as you can see here, I have 3 sections for geometry: the topic of the day, homework, or actually this has changed a lot. I have it sort by cohort now. Do I have a page I can show you? Yeah, here we go. So I need to do some editing here, but basically this is for blue cohort, what are they doing every day, and then this is the white cohort, which is why it doesn't have a highlight, what are they doing every day, prep and notes. And then in physics, I just keep track of what did the teacher that I'm observing do that day, because that's going to help me a lot with pacing next year, in the next semester, because that's when I teach physics on my own. I have these that I haven't used much yet, but they were in the printable. Lesson reflections. And then here, winter intensive. This is a 3-week kind of planning period for me. My school operates on 5 semesters, 2 regular semesters in what I think is the traditional sense, multiple classes that the students take. They see multiple classes a day. 3 periods where they actually only study 1 course all day for 3 weeks. And of those 3-week-long periods, of the 3 of them, faculty teach 2 and use 1 to plan and prep new courses, because there's a lot of shift in those smaller intensive blocks of courses. You're not always teaching the same course. They like to mix up the course offerings a lot, and so you get one of those 3-week periods to plan your next course and make sure that everything's ready. And so I don't need the same layout for those first 3 weeks of January like I do in the fall. My job is different, it looks different. And so here I just have a weekly plan to kind of each week have a bit of, have an outline, what are my goals for the day? What types of things am I prepping? Notes for the week. The backs are blank, so I can add more notes, or I can add extra paper in if I need to. So much flexibility with this structure. I love it so much. So I have that for the 3 weeks of that period. And then in the spring rotation, my job shifts again, because then I start to teach physics on my own. So now I have 3 spaces for geometry, 3 spaces for physics. One of the downsides is that these boxes are smaller than these because of the notes section. And I looked, there's not a layout that doesn't have the notes section. Still, I really like this. I don't think I need quite as much space for physics, so it works out. And you can edit these headings. So I put those in, and then I printed the amount of weeks that I needed. And to make sure that I had enough, I have them labeled so that I didn't have to print too many. It is so good. And then at the last section, I have a 2-week per week layout, because this last little mini semester that's 3 weeks long, I am teaching a course. And so I have it here, some space for an objective, the lesson we're working on that particular day, more notes for things that I'll need to prep. and it's just so good. And it's hard for me to explain how I'm going to use this section because I haven't even designed the course yet for this particular semester. So I don't know how this is going to look, but I'm very excited that I have this flexibility. And then at the very end, is it blank? Yeah. At the very end, I just have some sheets for student data. So I have their names, the assignments, and then I just keep a paper copy of all grades because it helps me to make sure when I go into the grade book, I've already graded everything here and then nothing gets missed when I transfer. And that's my work planner, and it is so good and I've been loving it so much, and I'm probably going to keep using this exact system next year. I don't know why I would move. And that is everything. So this is my planner lineup for 2021. 5 planners total, 5 notebooks. This journal's not really a planner, but yeah, this is what we're working with. I'm very excited. Let me know what you're planning with in 2021. I am very excited to see what everyone comes up with and all the different systems that are going to be out there. And yeah, so if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.